Oscar Zavada, how did he come through the other night, and what is his likelihood of greater involvement against Brisbane tomorrow night?
I think I mentioned this a couple of interviews back that we're going to progressively give him game time. He's not ready to go 90 minutes. Like, to be fair, he only trained a week with the ball, the week before Jets. So I think he had 3 sessions or something like that with the ball. So he did a lot of straight line running to make sure that he's had all functionality in his from his injury. So we're probably looking at maybe the same sort of minutes against Brisbane, Mariners, and Western United. And then we'll reassess it after that. He pulled up pretty well after the game. He still has a little bit of soreness, but that's probably due to the fact that now he's had repeated sessions, and we've been pushing the boys this week of training.
So you'll be forced into at least one change with Alex Rufer's suspension. Obviously, you still don't have Tim Payne. So can you give us any insight into how you'll make the decision around what you'll do in your sort of defensive midfield positions?
Yeah, I have to. It's more a question about balance. I also lost Suts this week, so I'll find out the extent of his injury on Monday. So I'm kind of hoping the best case scenario with Suts is that he's only out for a couple of weeks, but depending on how bad the injury is, could be a bit longer. So I've had to kind of make sure that kind of relied on Suts and Lucas being on the left side last game. So now I have to make sure that whoever I put in the 6 can control the game like Roofs, and then at the same time have balance on the left side, and then I don't take away too much from the right side where Nico did a good job in the last game.
No early arrival for Houston Salas then? He won't be with you for tomorrow night?
No, he needs to still get a visa, and as well, he needs to be integrated into the squad. He won't be for a couple of weeks, and he probably won't be available for 3-4 matches.
Go on, just one more for me, and I'll pass it on. Obviously, Marco Rojas has turned up at Brisbane, has signed, and may well play against you tomorrow night. Do you put any extra measures into place to deal with the threat that he might present?
Look, to be fair, he's a dangerous player, but I'm not sure how much game time he's had over the last couple of months. Like anyone who's going to be involved in any game day, you need some sharpness and some games under your belt to be hitting full form. So I think we'll take advantage out of that more than what Brisbane will.
Thanks, mate.
No worries.
Hey, Chief, Phil here. What's Sam Sutton done?
What's Sam done? Yeah. So we've been managing. He's had an ankle strain for a couple of weeks now. We've been managing it, but essentially what's happened now is that I think it's progressed to a tear as opposed to a strain. So hopefully we are able to get the scans on Monday and then make a further assessment on Tuesday and see what the extent of the injury is.
And with Ben Old, he couldn't start the last game for a similar thing. Been managing an injury with him.
Sure.
Is he also someone who's not capable of starting this game?
No, he can't start as well. So we're managing through his injuries. So his one's a little bit more delicate. Essentially, he needs roughly, I think he needs like 2 weeks off feet in order for him to get back to full fitness. But at the moment, because we're short with numbers, we're trying to get him game time so that he can contribute to the team because he's an influential player. And then we find the right time to get him off feet and get him back to full recovery, then we can contemplate starting him.
Have you had to fly anyone else over? Like, it sounds like your depth is being tested quite a bit while you're over in Australia.
So we took an extra 2. So Fergus Gillian and I think we had out of the contracted players was the one that came over, and we have Shares that's back into the squad now. So we've got enough numbers. So it's a good opportunity for these young players to actually step up and see what they can do.
Yeah, because I guess you've got a run of games in quick succession. Is this sort of like a bad time? Like, do you feel like you are really going to be relying on some of the guys who maybe haven't seen as much game time this season, to get you through this period?
I think that's a normal thing for most teams throughout the season. You're always going to rely on the depth of your squad. I've yet to see a team that is able to churn out the same 11 game in, game out. You're going to have to rely on these young guys. So yeah, look, the timing is probably not the best in terms of the frequency and the amount of injuries that we've had, but it's a normal part and parcel of any season. So we just need to. We're not using it as an excuse, it's just an opportunity for these young guys to show us what they have.
And just one final one from me, just in terms of Alex's absence, because to me it seems like he's having his best season for the Phoenix, and I know 2 of them have been penalties, but he's had scored in the last 3 games. Does he leave quite a void in this team now? Like the performances he's been having, and obviously he's your leader, your captain, but the fact that he's been really contributing as well, does it leave a bit of a void without him?
Yeah, for me, the main thing is with Roofs is that he's been consistent every game. His baseline performances are actually quite good. So, games that he says that he's not playing well in, he's actually, contributing as, as a valuable player still, which is a really, really good thing. And I especially think as a 6, as an anchor and, being the defensive midfielder and being the link player, it's very, very important. And I think that will, get him into contention for the All Whites long term, and that's something that we've worked to. But will I miss him? Yeah, I definitely will. But it's a good chance for also the other 6s that we have in the squad to come into the squad and show us what they have, and they have the capability of doing well against Brisbane, and I look forward to it. And like I said, like I mentioned just before, you need depth in the squad, so it's a really, really good opportunity for these guys to step up and take that pressure and show me what they have.
Hey, Chiefy, Harry here from News Hub. Just on Brisbane.
Sorry, Harry, I can't hear you that well, mate.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me any better now?
Yeah,
speaking
that's
up. Oh, cool. Just on Brisbane, they've lost 3 straight. Do you expect them to come out swinging a little bit, trying to get a result this match?
Yeah, I think they've been quite unlucky, to be fair. In the last couple of games, I thought they were unlucky against Newcastle when they went down to 10. I thought that was a bit harsh, the red card. I thought they'll win that game. Even the MacArthur game, they had a large part of that game, and just MacArthur hurt them transitionally. Look, they're at a stage in the season now where I think they need to get something out of the next couple of games in order for them to make a viable push for the 6. So for me, they're going to be a formidable opponent, very hard to break down. They have quality in that squad that can hurt us, and at the same time, we're a little bit disjointed with the amount of changes that we have to make to the starting team. So I think they'll be looking at that and going, it's a really good opportunity to maybe, press us and be assertive and aggressive from the start. It's just a matter for us of just being, working into the game and working to our game plan and making sure that we can ride the pressure. And then I'm kind of hopeful that once we get out of that, that hard first 30 minutes, that we can settle into the game and then we can execute our game plan.
And how satisfying would it be to leave Australia with 2 wins from 2? Away games are always tougher. How satisfying would that be?
Well, the goal is always not to lose away. So I never bank on wins. I always bank on not losing, which is I think a more realistic goal, because playing away from home, there's a lot of variables. One, the pitch. One, the other, the travel. Also how the boys responded from the previous game. Then it also comes down to squad availability. But I do think if, even if you're playing, you're not having the best day with the ball, you can defend well and that, can guarantee some sort of result. So if we win, unbelievable, it'll be great. It'll be, it'll be fantastic with the, showing a true sense of maturity from the squad. But at the same time, not losing is also very important, because it just, point by point, little step by step, all contributes to the end part of the season.
Awesome. Cool. Good luck.
Thank you. Thanks, Harry.
Chiefy, can I just circle back to Oscar? He did some media yesterday, and we spoke to you a little while ago, and you, I guess, intimated that you thought that he may well be on his way at the end of this season. He said yesterday that he hasn't really made that decision yet, or that decision hasn't been made. Are you still in discussions with him to try and elongate his stay in Wellington?
I'll stick to what I said previously. Like, I think yesterday there might have been a little bit made out of what his comments were. I'm not sure how you wanted him to answer, especially when we're mid-season. I think, as I mentioned before, he's going to have plenty of suitors at the end of the season. You saw the quality of Newcastle and his contribution. For me, the big thing is I don't want that being a distraction now. What will happen will happen. If we can afford to keep him here and if he wants to stay, then, we'll look to make it happen. But I just don't see those two things matching up at the moment. When you have an informed striker and someone that, did well last year, is contributing this year, there's going to be plenty of suitors, and unfortunately that drives the price up. And once it becomes, a price of a bidding war, unfortunately we're not in a position to match that. And as well, we have other strikers as well on the team, and I have to sign a bunch of other players, so I have those restrictions as well. So I'm very upfront with the media and with my team as well. So if we can make it happen, we'll look at making it happen. But unfortunately, the business of football, when you start winning, everyone's price goes up. So it's very hard to keep everyone.
And no, thanks for the clarification. Appreciate that. And just on Houston Salas, when he arrives, what role do you see him fitting most? Where is he most likely to play in your system?
Well, Houston is a very good player that can play across three positions. He also allows us to do some things tactically that we're not able to do at the moment. So for me, I don't want to give too much away, but he can play as a 6, he can play as an 8, he can play as a 10, and more importantly, he can play as a fullback, which is something that I think that, with Payne's absence at the moment, I think you see now, because I have to move Nico around, it imbalances the team a little bit. So it gives us a lot of depth and a lot of option to also move and change tactically, which is something that I like doing. And I think he complements the team and more importantly, the culture side, and because he has high work ethic, he's a very professional player. So I think he'll add to all the other players and give a different dynamic to the team.
Cheers. He's left-sided though, is he? He's naturally left-sided?
No, he's a right-sided player.
Cool. Thanks, mate.